Welcome all to my class Python the Easy Way. In today's tutorial, we will be talking about classes and objects. All those who have already studied object-oriented programming, they might be familiar with classes. But for those who haven't ever studied object-oriented programming, let me start by telling you that class is a concept where you treat everything as an object of the class. It is used to create a new type. For example, there is a class vehicle. Now your car, scooters, motorcycle, these are all the object of that class vehicle, right? Similarly you can understand that animal is a class, and dog, cat, cow, these are the object of that class, and every object has certain attribute and certain method. Okay, so like if you talk about the class animal, so you have height, length, color of all the animals, which is different, right? So similarly all the objects have some variables, some instances which are unique. Okay, so also understand one thing: in Python everything is treated as an object or an instance of some class. If you remember, when we were trying to check the data type of a is equal to 5, it gave you class int. That means that a is a object of class integer type. If you said name is equal to abc and you check the type of name, it gave you str. It showed class str. That means name is object of class str. So understand that everything in Python is treated as class. Here is a small diagram where I have created a class abc, and it has got two objects, obj1, obj2. These are the two objects of class abc, and they have got some variables and some method within. So here are some key points which we will be going through during this tutorial: how to create a class, what are the class members, how to create an object. Okay, and then we will be talking about private and public variables. Okay, and how to create public variables, what are instance method. Okay, and then we will be talking about init method and del method. So let's begin. So this time, to explain you the concept of classes and object, I'll be creating a class for students. For example, I am considering that all those who want to join my Python class, they need to provide me three things. One is their first name, their last name, and their phone number. And I want to create a class because whenever you join my class, I provide you an email ID, okay, for joining my class, and I register you there. So let's start creating a class. So as I told you, to create a class, you need to use the keyword class. So I said class, and the name of this class is student, for example, and then colon. Okay, so this is what I have tried creating a class. Now if you try to run this class, okay, see, it is end of file parsing. Okay, fine. And now as I told you, whenever you want to access any class, you need to create object of that class. So for example, I create student1 of my class student. Okay, there is some student who came to me and I'm trying to register him or her. So see, this is again showing a problem. Why so? Because Python does not allow you to create an empty class. Now if I apply pass keyword in it, let's see what happens. And this time it was successful run. See? And now if I create the object, I was able to create the object. Okay, object of class student. So std1 is the object of class student, or I can also call it as instance of class student. Okay, and this process is also called instantiation. Right, now if I want to see the first name and last name, let's see, std1 dot first, for example, and the student name was Anu. std1 dot last name was Sharma, and let's just see. And now I'm trying to run that. Now what are these? These are actually instance variable because these are unique to every instance created. Okay, so the student one who came in my class, her name was Anu Sharma. But it is not necessary that student 2, whoever comes to my class, has the same name. Of course, that is not possible even. Right? So these are called instance variable, and the value of these instance variable is unique to that instance. So here std1 is instance and the variable is first. So the first name of object student1 is Anu, and the last name of that object is Chana. right? Now if I try creating another object, std2, std2 is equal to, then some other student came to my class, student, and so I'm creating another object now. So std2 is another instance of the class student. std2 dot first, let me just see, is equal to, for example, it comes abhi. std2 dot last again goes Sharma, for example. Just for example, let me take this. Okay, so now what's happening? I have created another instance or object of class student, and the instance variables. The instance variable first has the value Abhi in it, stored in it, and instance variable last has value Sharma stored in it, right? Now if I want to print, I want to see the values. What was the first name of my first student who enrolled in my class? So how I can do that? Simply using the object name dot the variable name, instance variable name, right? So you need to understand, as I told you, that variables are of two types, class variable and instance variable or the object variable. So here what I'm creating, these are the object variables, okay? These are my instance variables, and instance variable is unique to its instance. The value stored in instance variable is unique to the instance which called it, right? But it's not same case with the class variables. We'll come to that. So rather than doing that, what I thought was, let's rearrange my class. So the first name and the last name passed by the object std1, student1, will automatically will be passed here in your display method. Okay, so the self keyword is important because it tells you which object is actually calling this particular method, and that is why this is these methods, all the method where you pass first argument as self argument are also referred to the instance method. Okay, because that particular instance is calling this method. Fine. Moving on to, now if you want to print the first name and the last name, you need to first tell the self first, that is the first, the value of variable first of this object is the first which you passed, self dot last is equal to last, the value which you passed last, and then print full name. What is the full name? That is the first name of the object. If you want to apply space, you can apply space, and then self dot last. Okay, fine. Now what I have to do is, I have to create the object or instance which will use this class student. Okay, and then this particular object calls my display method. Now when it calls the display method, it asks for one thing. What? Two arguments you have to pass, first and last. So I said the first name is Anu and the last name is Sharma, for example. And now let's run this. Okay, now I have created the instance of class student NGNC. Full name Anu space Sharma, right? So this is how you can do. And now if I create another object, std2 dot, for example, yeah, I have to create the object. So this is how I have created the object, student2 dot display. Okay, and then I am passing two values, Abhi and the surname. Okay, for example, MS, something like that. Okay, and then if I try to run this, so this time the full name is Abhi MS, right? So this is how, because whenever this object std2 calls display method, the self argument tells that this particular display method has been called by object std2, and you have to store first and the last value of std2 in it now. Okay, there is one more way of calling this particular method defined in the class, by using the class name directly. How can you do that? Let me show you. It's very simple. Use the class name student dot the method display, and of course you have to pass the object name also this time. This time, rather than passing self Earlier you were not passing the self argument over here. You just gave the first name and the last name, and in within the method, while you were declaring the method, the first argument was self. So it was obvious the self meant std1, the object which called this particular method. But when you are calling any method through the class name, you have to pass the object name also, std1. Then I gave the first name A and I gave the last name Z. Now let's see if this works out or not, and it works out completely fine, right? So because I was this time I called my display method using the class name dot method. I need to pass the object name this time so that it is clear that which object I is trying to call this. Now if I try to print std1 dot first, let's see what happens, because this time I have changed the value of std first, okay? And it says A because it is overwritten now. Earlier it was Anu, and here I overwritten it with A and Z. Now the first name is A and the last name is Z, and so when I try to print the first name, it gave me Z. So there is another very nice inbuilt method given to us. We will be talking about that now. That is init method. Okay, so it is preceded by underscore, 2 times underscore, and then in suffix also does what, 2 times underscore. So this init method has a very special significance in Python class. This actually is automatically executed whenever an object of the class is created. So whenever you create a class and there is this init method within the class, it is automatically executed whenever you create the object. Let me show you how. So here is your class student. Now I am using my init method. Okay, so def underscore underscore init underscore underscore and this init method. Okay, now because this is the method within the class and it is an instance method, so I need to use the self keyword and the first name and the last name. The thing which we were doing in display method, I'm now be doing here. We will now be doing here. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll initialize the first and the last variables of each object. So self dot first is equal to first, the value which is passed by your object. Self dot last is equal to last, the value passed by the object. Okay, fine. Now similarly I'll create another, I'll just print some message here. Okay, you are about to exit init method, something like this. Okay, and then I have got another function display email, where what I'll be doing is I'll be creating the email ID for all the students who enrolled in my class. So whenever they are enrolling in my class, and to create their email ID, what I'll have to do is I'll print their first name, self dot first, right, plus followed by a dot operator, plus the last name, sorry, yeah, I found. Okay, self dot last. Okay, and then it is followed by at the rate sign, at the rate, and then gmail.com, just for the example sake. Okay, so this has to be printed. Now let's first run the class. So here what I am doing is I am trying to call a init function which will be automatically executed whenever I will create the object. So that particular init function will take two variables, the first name and last name. It will then initialize the object variables, instance variables, first and last, by the values which you pass to it. Okay. So if you have any confusion in these two variable name, first and first, let's just do this like this: f name and n name. Okay. So I'm passing two values, first name and last name, and here are two instance variables, first and last, which stores the values f name and n name in it. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll create an object std1 of class student. Okay, and whenever I'll try to print std1.email, I'm calling the method email in it. Okay, now let's see. I have purposely done something wrong here just to show you. So when I call this object. When I instantiate this object, it shows me error. Missing two required positional argument fname and name. Why? Because whenever you create an object of class student, it will automatically call this particular method init method, which requires two arguments, that is the first name and the last name. Okay, so here is the first name and here I pass the last name. Now let me just show you if this works this time. Here the object is created, and as soon as my object is created, init method is called, and the instance variable first and last are now initialized with the first name, that is Anu, and the last name Sharma, and then it prints the message you are about to exit init method also. Now if I try to call the email method, okay, so I have passed again self because object 1, that is std1, is trying to call this display this email method, and it gives me the mail ID, right? Now let's talk about class variables. As I told you, variables are of two types, class variable and instance variable. So we have already seen the example for the instance variable. Okay, so here when I say self.first, so first is an instance variable, last is an instance variable which holds the value passed by the object. Now let's start with what are class variables. So just remember one thing, whenever you are defining any instance variable or the object variable, these are unique to that particular object. Okay, only that particular object can alter the value of its instance variable or the object variable, right? So the first name, the first for object 1 was Anu, the first for object 2 was something ABC or XYZ supposedly, so they were unique. Now when you talk about class variable are common. I want to see how many students have actually enrolled for my Python class, so I'm creating one class variable over here, total. The initial value of this total student is 0. And now whenever an object is created, of course whenever the object is created, it will call the init method. Okay, whenever the init method is called, I want this value to be incremented by 1. And because it is a class variable, here it is a class variable. Okay, so it has to be incremented by 1. So I will call it by the class name student dot total plus equal to 1. So what it will do, it will increment the class variable by 1 every time init is called. Okay, and here what I will say, I'll write down message print total students. Okay, and it will just print the student dot total, right? So let's try to run this. Here's the class, and when I try to run this, it says total student 1. Now let me create another object of class student, okay, in which I this time pass another value, and something like this, and that's it. So next time, now the value has incremented by 1, 2, right? Now if I create another object 3 is equal to student Miram, and it's s dot suppose. So this time I got 3 students, so this time total student is equal to 3. So every time I am actually creating an object, same variable total is being affected. The value of total is being changed. So the class variable is common to all the objects of that particular class, whereas the instance variable are unique to the instances of the class. I hope it was clear to you guys. So let's talk about another concept of classes and objects, that is private and public data members. Okay, so in Python, default all the data members are considered as public, that is you can access them easily outside the class. And if you want to define any data member as a private data member, you have to apply double time underscore before that variable name or double time underscore before the method name. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just copying my previous example of students which I did earlier, and here now what I'm trying to do is I just made my last name as private. Okay, the last name is private, So here it's last name, right? So let's just rerun. It's running properly, fine. Okay, now if I want to print the student one's first name, okay, and I say first, let's just see if I am able to print the first name outside the class. Yes, I am able to by simply doing this object dot variable name. Now if I want to print the last name, first of all I'll get an error for this if I try doing double underscore because it was a private variable. Again it's an error. So I can't directly access the last name outside the class. Within the class I can, by the object calls init method. Here the last name is initialized, and the method email is also within the class, so I am able to access my variable last within the class. Okay, I can't do that outside the class. Now for example, in the same example I'm trying to make email as a private method. So email is a private method. Now let's see. Let's rerun this. Okay, it's working fine, and if I try to print email, I cannot do so because now email is a private method. I can't run my private method like this outside the class. So there is a solution for doing this. I want to access my email method, but that method is private. Now what to do? It's very simple. The way of doing it is call the object name, then underscore the class name student. Okay, by using the class name you can actually access the method, and then your private method. Okay, sorry, email. Right, now let's see student one, and here I can access my private method using the class name, right? So the syntax is object dot underscore your class double underscore your method name, the private method name, right? I hope you were able to understand. Similarly, if I want to access my private variable, that is the last, the variable name was last. Can I do so over here? I'll just show you. I was not able to access my private variable outside the class. When I tried accessing it, I was not able to do so. Now I want to access this variable also outside the class. So what I will do is the same method, object name dot underscore the class, okay, and my private variable. Sorry. Now let's see if this works out, and it works out. It's giving me my last name. I hope this makes sense to you. You were able to understand. So this was it for today's lecture. There are many other things which we can discuss in classes and objects. Soon I'll be uploading a very short video on class methods. How you can call a method by passing the class name in it, and static method we will talk about decorators also. Till then, hope you find this tutorial useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.